Everybody says eating healthy is easy. Those people have apparently never stood in a grocery store holding $12, a migraine, and the crushing realization that blueberries now require financing. And they have my entire life. The modern food system is strange. The worse food often costs less. The healthier food expires faster, and somehow a family sized bag of processed crap is cheaper than vegetables. People talk about nutrition like it's purely discipline. Meanwhile, millions are trying to survive the week without choosing between rent, gas, or eggs. So, tonight in the Tavern, on episode 529, Eating Healthy on $20 a Week, we ask, can people actually eat healthy on $20 a week? Or are we just pretending survival and nutrition are the same thing? I think some of this is going to surprise you.
Put that long day behind you. Good times lie ahead. With company worth keeping, that'll bash a smile on your head. Come on in, the door's open. You'll find just the finest folks here. Pull up a chair, grab a drink, and lend our stories your ear. Cause we're the talk the tavern. Here you're always welcome. The talk the tavern. Promising beer and bedlam. The talk the tavern. Music, medicine, then some. The talk the tavern. The song's over. Here we come.
Welcome to the Tavern. I'm Travis Sivart, and I've been wanting to discuss being able to survive, maybe even thrive on $20 a week per person in groceries. But before we talk about that, let's see who we have here in the Tavern tonight. You got me, Travis, and I am sipping on some Tin Cup Rye, one of my favorites. Highly recommend it, and it's a good price point. What about you, Ed?
Hey folks, I am sipping on some Basil Hayden toast. It's okay, but it's not my favorite. Toast. It's in toasted almonds or something. I don't know. It's
okay. I know the red wine one or the red wine barrel one was very good. You got that for me one time.
Mm-hmm.
That was delightful. So
that one's yummy. And I want to shout out to Steve. I don't know if he's left us already, but Steve is our main man that makes us sound good. Shout out, Steve.
Here.
And let's drink to that.
Yay, Steve.
How about you, Kevin?
This evening, I'm drinking some mead. This is a Jack Rat traditional honey mead from a brewery about 35 miles away from here, just on the outskirts of Devon. They do a whole range of flavoured ones. Most of them I've tried, and they're fair to middling. The elderflower one is really nice, but tonight I am on the traditional honey mead. What about you, Andrea? What are you drinking?
Oh, well, I got to be different, but I got my tea I made, and it's in my fancy wine glass.
Nice.
Very nice. Let's do our opening toast here. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Kevin.
I was just going to say, I also have a fancy new receptacle this evening.
Oh, yeah, that is.
For those of you watching online.
Very cool.
Because he's a predator.
Now, is that purple and red highlights I'm seeing in the cup or in your
lighting?
No,
it's a pewter mug, and it's picking up the residual lighting from underneath my laptop.
Well, that's some great fucking lighting for that cup, I'll tell you what. Okay, let's get a toast in here. Hey, here's being able to afford to eat, and even better, being able to afford to eat healthy.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Okay, so this is something we've touched on here and there, but I'm constantly hearing people who are trying to lose weight or save money who are like, it's cheaper to eat at McDonald's than eat fresh. Or it's cheaper to buy frozen crap and survive on that than to buy healthy food. And I want to go into that a little bit. I want to talk about that because I want to call bullshit on it. So
yes.
You want to start out, Ed, with some thoughts, or you want me to just start rambling on about things?
I'll start out with something. Having a little bit of experience in this, because I remember people saying the same thing when I did the Atkins diet years ago, that it was so expensive. But actually, it wasn't, because I was no longer buying the crap.
Right.
I was just buying fresh vegetables and meat. So it was about the same. And just recently, we did this little thing where we had to tighten the belt buckle a little bit, and and $20? No, I couldn't shop on $20, but it was less tightening the belt and just buying fresh food. And well, I couldn't have my little candy bars, but yeah, it's a whole lot cheaper if you're just buying crap and frozen stuff and canned stuff and so forth and so on.
This is what I'm talking about. $20 a week per person. What I mean by that is excluding buying stuff you don't need to survive. So your luxuries, like your little candy bars, or if you enjoy your potato chips or ice cream, whatever it is, excluding that. I'm talking about, can you survive healthy on $20? And, by this, I've got a couple menu lists where you buy 4 or 5 basic things. And by mixing and matching and changing your seasoning palette, you could do this. Now, before I go into any of that, Kevin, I see you rubbing your eyes. I know you're sleepy, so I want to give you a chance to talk. That always brightens you up a bit. What about you? Can you do it in the UK?
I mean, I'm at a disadvantage slightly, because obviously we don't know where our comparative prices lie.
I'd just go with £20 or quid or
for a week.
doubloons.
Probably not. No. I think, to be honest, though, I mean, we kind of latched onto that as a nominal value, but I think what we're really talking about tonight is, can you do it cheaper than you think you can?
Yeah.
Because like Ed said, there is this misconception that buying fresh ingredients, cooking for yourself is more expensive. It's not more expensive. It's an investment of time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Of course, fast food is cheaper. It's cheaper because they have mass purchasing power. You'll go to the supermarket and buying one chicken. They're buying 350,000 chickens a time or whatever, And also because they want it to be cheaper, because if cooking at home was cheaper, you wouldn't go out and buy takeaway as often.
It's true.
But there is this misconception that eating fresh and cooking for yourself is monetarily expensive, but it does require an investment of a little bit longer of your time. That's the thing. You need to prep and cook a meal. But that's when, and I'm not going to start getting into it too now, because I know I have a tendency to run away with the show on you, but batch cooking and things like that, that's where you look to make your economic saving when you're cooking for yourself at home.
Keep that in mind. I want to go into that too. Andrea, anything to add before we start rolling into these other things?
Well, just because it's not fresh frozen, it's still good too.
Yes.
And you can get it at a great price because it lasts longer. Yes, you can eat healthy on a budget. You may not like everything, but you can do it.
And we're not talking about ramen and hot dogs. We're talking about grown-up foods. Much as I'm
potato and onions.
Potatoes, rice, onions, chicken in whatever form. Boneless, skinless chicken breast, ground chicken or ground turkey. Use them interchangeably. And then the frozen vegetables, because generally if you buy one bag, which is about $1, give or take, that's a portion for 2 people for one night. Now, that's my basis, and I'm going to go into more stuff than that, because there are things, like when we get into the seasonings are an investment. But it's something that will last, especially if you just buy, here's a big thing of garlic, here's a big thing of oregano, here's a big thing, and mix your own for here's Italian seasoning now, here's my Mexican food, my Indian food seasoning. Kev?
I think that's a good point. I think it's important to point out that when you think about this mindset, if you are trying to shift away to doing more healthy cookery for yourself, to get out of the mindset that it's either I buy pre-packaged, pre-processed, easy food, or I do every single thing fresh when I need it. Garlic is a great example. can you go and buy a fresh bulb of garlic at the market? Of course you can.
Right.
Are you going to use enough garlic that it's not going to sit on the windowsill and maybe go a bit dried? Maybe you are. So don't buy fresh garlic. Go and buy a pouch of, ready cut garlic or a jar of garlic cloves or however you want to do it.
Well,
because then, like you say, you've got it. It's there ahead of time. You don't have to go and buy everything fresh.
I want to jump in on
days.
the garlic thing. I'm sure they have this. Do you have the jars of wet minced garlic in the UK?
Yeah.
We keep that stuff.
Fucking beautiful. I buy it 2 jars at a time. So when I use one, I put that other one in and go get the replacement for that.
Yep.
And it's $3 to $5. And is it fresh garlic? No. Is it better than powdered? Yes. But also, depending what you're cooking, sometimes powdered is better versus... And I always do... Well, not always. I love to saute that minced garlic with half of a fresh onion for almost everything I'm going to make. Anytime I'm about to throw a meat into the skillet, I love to do this just to give it that flavor blend.
Okay.
Mine is things like straight up steak, which is not really in this realm. That's almost one of those luxuries. So, Kevin, we're going to talk about meal prep because that's something else I want to say. With this type of menu that you do, it's not $20 each week. It's Andrea and I together. It's now $40 a week, which is now $160 to $200 a month, depending how many weeks are in that month. And by that, 1 week, you're going out and buying all the meat, looking for your sale. The next week, maybe you're picking up, 20 bags of the frozen vegetables to throw into your freezer and, some eggs and other stuff. That bag of rice, if you buy it in the 20-pound bag, it's, Andrea,
exactly that.
You track prices better than me. What's that 20-pound bag cost?
It's less than $20.
Right. And that's basmati rice. That's not even,
And it comes in a burlap sack, which you can use to carry things around. I make cat beds out of it, or I wrap their scratching posts with it.
Or if you have small children, you just cut a neck hole in it, put it on them, and send them to fucking school.
There you go.
or you, if you want a quiet afternoon, you just put the child inside, tie the sack up.
There
come
you
back
go.
a few hours later.
Don't go any further.
So
It's breathable.
So, Kevin, meal prep. Let's talk about this because anybody who doesn't know, Kevin is a professional eater, and he also cooks for a living, or has in the past.
Well, technically not anymore, but
Right.
my past. I'm a hospitality manager now, but my previous career is as a chef for about 27 odd years. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the rice is a fantastic example. So you've got, if you think about a meal, in order to make meals economical, like Travis was referring to with switching up seasonings and things like that, you should look at bulking agents. And by bulking agents, I mean items that don't really have a great deal of residual flavor of their own, rice, potatoes, other kinds of starches and carbohydrates that you can then flavor quite easily with a very small amount of something with flavor. So rice is a brilliant example. It's very, very easy with a very small amount of soy sauce or some chili or some spring onion, scallion, to those of you who say it wrong. It doesn't take an awful lot of ingredients, fresh ingredients, added to a bowl of rice in order to give that rice flavor, character, and depth. But you then have something that's great at giving you a meal that's pennies, cents, call it whatever you will, that fills you up. Because there's no point in cooking fresh if you eat a meal and then you want to snack 10 minutes later. This is the mistake a lot of people make with fast food. Is it convenient? Yes. Is it cheap? Yes. Could you eat another meal an hour later? 9 times out of 10, yes.
Right.
There's ingredients like monosodium glutamate that are used in your fast food and other chemicals as well, which are designed to make you feel full when you consume that food for a brief period of time. So you feel as the consumer like your fast food has just given you value for money. But that effect is temporary. It's not the same as eating a hearty bowl of rice that then gives you slow burn carbohydrate energy release for 6 to 8 hours.
Absolutely.
It's not having a bowl of frosted whatever in the morning gives you some nutritional value from toasted grains, but a bowl of porridge will keep you going until early afternoon.
And let's talk about that real quick. Breakfast foods, if you look at a dozen eggs when they're not going crazy and ridiculous in prices, because that's not common, that's the uncommon, or oatmeal or some other stuff, you can actually do it cheaper than your sugary cereals by far. Now, mind you, I like a good cereal after dinner as dessert instead of a bowl of ice cream because it's delightful. But
do you know why traditionally the French never eat more than one egg for breakfast?
Why is that?
Because one egg is enough.
Nice.
Thank you. I'm here every week.
When it comes to meal prep, though, let's some people are like, well, I don't want to eat the same thing for a whole week. Welcome back, Ed. I don't want to eat the same thing for a whole week. Look, if you make rice, you can make it plain. And the frozen vegetables, you can make that in minutes every week or every day, every night, whenever you want a new portion of that. And then if you cook your chicken, whatever form you picked up, you can, again, just season that lightly. And then when you put the things together and throw them into a skillet together or a microwave bowl, you can add a separate seasoning and change it up as a meal with a different vegetable each night. Another thing that works great is a can of kidney beans, black beans, cannellini beans. Kevin, I saw you raise your hand. Did you want to jump in?
Just because it's pertinent to what you're saying at the moment, we briefly mentioned batch cooking early. It's worth bearing in mind that with a little bit of foreplanning, you can, especially if you've got access to one big pot,
right,
which is God's gift if you want to eat on a budget. You can let's take a bolognese, for example. So I make a basic bolognese and I make a huge pan of it. Mince is, I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but in terms of compared to other cuts of meat, it's a relatively inexpensive product.
What is bolognese?
What is bolognese? Mince, onion. It's like spaghetti bolognese. So you've got minced beef, onions, garlic in a tomato sauce.
Okay.
I make a large pan of it, and then
you can use ground chicken instead of ground beef in this to help cut price.
So I make a big pan. When it's done, I turn the heat down nice and low, and I ladle out half of that batch that I've made, and I portion that up. And then all I have to do is boil some spaghetti, heat one of those up, pour it over the top. Bosh, I have an Italian pasta meal. With the remaining half a pan, I add chili powder, I add garlic, I add kidney beans. Now I've made a chili con carne. Now all I need to do is cook rice. And so there are dishes you can make which are what chefs would refer to as base dishes. And you might also hear that, especially in French cookery, they talk about the mother sauces. And those are sauces that you can then add 2 or 3 different things to that then create 3 or 4 other sauces that use the same original base. You can do this with batch cooking meals. You could cook, for example, a nice vegetable casserole, take half of that off, then add curry spices and turn the other half into a vegetable curry.
Just beautiful.
Now I have something I can eat with potatoes, something I can eat with rice. There's your meal variety.
Now, Ed, I wanted to... You with us? He froze again. We're going to give him another minute to reconnect. And, matter of fact, let me just type that so he knows.
Well, see, going on, I like simpler things. I don't always have to have meat at every meal. Something I really like, rice and an egg in a pan, or refried beans and rice.
Well, that's
very
another
simple,
thing.
Cheap.
If you have your rice, and then you take your rice and throw it into that skillet with a little bit of soy sauce and a little bit of egg and a little bit of frozen vegetable, you now have a fried rice.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what Andrea is talking about. But now you have a dish that everybody knows, and you can experiment with that with the flavor palette to see what you like. Go on, Andrea.
Soup. Soup's another good one.
Oh, yeah.
You got leftover vegetables or anything in the fridge, make a soup. See, I've had to do this on a budget with a small child before, and they don't eat anything.
Yeah.
So, casseroles, you throw anything in a pan, put cheese on it, stick it in the oven, or make a soup. So,
I have an interesting British-based soup fact for you, Andrea.
okay.
So back before health and safety and food regulations were as stringent in the 1950s and 60s here in the UK, it was not unusual to see a soup on hotel and restaurant menus called brown Windsor soup.
Right.
Now, brown obviously was the colour of the soup. It was a meaty-ish soup with a sort of beefy
Of course, if
flavour.
it was brown, it was meaty.
And the Windsor was added purely because it's the royal family name to give it an air of elegance.
Yes, Ed?
What most people didn't realise sorry, go on.
Go ahead, Kev.
No, you go ahead, Kevin. This is totally off topic. Go ahead.
I know what it is.
So basically, the way brown Windsor was made was, let's say on Monday you make a carrot soup.
Uh-huh.
Then on Tuesday that soup becomes carrot and coriander. On Wednesday you throw in some more vegetables and it becomes mixed vegetable and herb soup. Then you add some cooked beef to it that you've got left over from another dish, and now it becomes beef and fish. And eventually it turned into this brown morass by the end of like 4 or 5 days of being reheated as different soups of the day. And it was blended and called brown Windsor.
Ed?
That's great.
Speaking of Windsor, guess who's coming to dinner?
Is it our king while he's there?
Sydney Port?
Yeah, they're coming to my little small town right next door tomorrow. They've shut down half the fucking town, and
Are they really?
won't be able to...
I mean, I said that as a jest, but
And by the way, to bring it back on topic, not that I'm unhappy going off topic here, because heaven knows I love to do that. But if anybody's read George R.R. Martin, he talks about a bowl of brown. He uses this in his books, and it's the exact same thing, where
cool.
Poor people or lower class people would do exactly what Kevin was talking about and just have one big cauldron over the fire for like a week's time, adding different things to make up for what was eaten. Kevin, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, I'm going to throw you right back in time now, but we covered this when Steampunk for Simpletons was released.
That's
it's
right.
in that cookery section in there about how pottage developed as a single pot meal. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and called pottage because it was like a pot cottage.
That is something we do tend to do on Sundays, especially. We make the big pot of whatever, and we can usually eat on that 3 or 4 freaking days.
Right.
And the other thing we do, if it's something we know we're not going to want 3 or 4 days, Teresa cans. So if you can do that, can your leftovers, put them on the shelf, and then eat them next week or the week after.
And this is where I wanted to go next anyway, Ed. Once you know your
sorry.
internet is this is great timing. If your internet holds up. Andrea, what?
Yeah.
If you don't can, Travis will make so much soup, and there's only 2 of us. The kids don't live here anymore. He'll put it in the freezer. You portion it out, and you put it in the freezer.
Yeah, same concept. Ed's lasts a little longer than my freezer concept. So, Ed, you can fucking everything. You'll put dry beans in a jar and vacuum seal it.
Yes.
Or cooked beans.
Because they'll last longer.
Right. So with this, is that actually saving you any money at all?
It is on some of our purchases because we shop at a local farmer's market and they will get like 20-pound bag of potatoes for $10.
Okay.
I'm on my way.
Right.
So then we get those potatoes home. Teresa's cooking and canning some. We're dehydrating some. We're pre-mixing our scallop potatoes in some. So we just got to dump them in the bowl, add water, milk, and run on. They'll get beets the same way. They'll get a 20-pound bag of beets and for practically nothing. So we're on our way. And then we got beets. We're dehydrating.
But it's beets and nobody likes beets. Do you make a decent beet? How's a good beet go?
I hated pickled beets growing up as a kid in the country. Everybody loved pickled beets. I hated pickled beets. now that we've gotten some fresh,
Yeah.
and she doesn't soak all the earthiness out of them, I love pickled peas.
What kind of texture do they have?
Once they've sit in the vinegar for 2 weeks, it's not a bad texture.
Okay.
It's like an apple texture.
I mean, historically, beets and turnips, these kind of things were thrown into soups. What kind of texture or flavor do they add to those meals?
Well, I made a Guinness soup not too long ago.
I just drank, yeah. Okay.
With rabbit and beets. It's all root vegetables. It's carrots, beets, potatoes, parsnips. It's all root vegetables. Wow. Oh man, it was the best soup I think I've ever eaten before in my life.
I've already eaten tonight, and that's making me hungry.
Yeah, I have never had a parsnip or a beet besides maybe 1 or 2 bites in my life, which is really weird considering I'm in my mid-50s at this point. But I would be happy to, sit at your table and enjoy a bowl of that.
The different flavors mixed together, I just couldn't believe it. It was amazing.
So, Andrea, you're good at talking about this. So let me point in this direction. There are recipes, whole fucking books of it out there about World War I and World War II ration cooking. And you want to look at some cheap cooking, and some of these recipes are fucking nasty, but a lot of them are absolutely budget-minded, and for 3 ingredients, you make an incredible meal.
Well, and I follow people on YouTube, and they'll get what you would get for a ration for a week, and they will live off of it for a week. And it's incredible.
Like, here's one newspaper, here's a rubber tire, and a chicken.
Well, they're in the UK, so it's like a bit of tea, 1 egg, some butter, If you grow vegetables, a lot of people would grow vegetables, so they have more of those, but...
Can you talk about that a little bit after this, too?
Maybe.
Because I know you grow your own vegetables. I eat them.
So does nature. Yeah.
That's true. I compete with local squirrels.
Oh, you mean right now?
Yeah.
Not after the... Okay.
No. So, like right now. Keep talking about the wartime rationing meals and branch into gardening.
And you can go on YouTube or Google or anywhere, and you could get a copy of what the area had for a ration, and you can do that. You could see how you could live off of that and the recipes. But since COVID, people have been gardening in pots, on porches. Like, we have a little bit of land, so we do it on land.
See, and I especially want to look at that. A lot of people are like, well, I live in an apartment. There's still ways you could do it. Again, Andrea, I'm just pointing in the right direction to cover, because I know you have a greenhouse right there in your office.
I do. It's behind my camera. For less than $20, you can get one online, and you can get the little lights, and you can grow your seeds. There's all kinds of instructions on YouTube for different places, because I know different areas have different weather. But yeah, do your research. You can do it. It's always better when you grow it yourself.
Yeah. Kevin.
Just a query that just occurred to me when you were talking about growing your own vegetables, and it's just one of those cultural questions I suppose I've never had a reason to ask. Do you guys have much in the way of like communal growing spaces, allotments we call them here?
No.
Is that a thing that exists in America at all?
It does.
Yes.
Not here where we're at, but where I used to live, the church I was a part of, we had a community garden where people can come and do that.
It's quite prevalent in this country, or at least not so much now, but there are a lot of allotment spaces, whether they're still fully used or not, which came from the Second World War. Now, obviously, we don't have the luxury of the space that America has. So a lot of us live piled on top of each other, and therefore not everybody had space on their own property outside their house to grow a decent amount of vegetables. So they would set aside fields that would be subdivided into much smaller plots where people from that community could go and grow their own vegetables because nobody could afford to live properly on rationing during the war.
Right.
And that whole tradition carried on afterwards.
Mhm.
And it's worth looking at, because if you do have access even to a very small outside space, you don't even have to have soil.
Yeah.
Bear that in mind, because you can always build a tray or a bed and then
Mhm.
buy some soil and fill it up. You don't have to have land you can dig a
Right.
spade into. You just need space outside that catches sun. And what you can grow within that space is phenomenal. You only have to look at some of the advents in Japan recently where they've done these sort of multi-tiered interior gardens where instead of spreading out across land,
They
they've
grow up.
stacked.
Mhm.
Exactly, they grow up and out and in big blocks.
Mhm.
You might look outside your own house and go, I haven't got room to grow my own vegetables. I bet you do.
Ed?
Another thing, Kevin, and we recently just did an episode on generations and the difference between one generation to the next. I remember growing up as a kid. Now I did grow up in the country in a little neighborhood, and everybody put out a garden, but everybody put something different in their garden.
That's crazy.
And when harvest time came along, there was the big swap meet. You give me some of this, I'll give you some of that. Hogs, when they butchered hogs, it was the same thing. You give me some sausage and I'll take some potatoes and everything. And that's gone away with the generational
to put
change.
it in a modern context, Ed's talking about going down to the farmer's market and getting this many pounds of potatoes. Well, I can't handle 20 pounds of potatoes. Go in with a friend. Find somebody you can split it with. And hell, it might be some stranger right there at the farmer's market next to you going, hey, do you need 10 pounds? Because I only need 10 pounds. How about we just split the cost here? And something else I want to say. I have... Go ahead, Andrea.
I was going to say, make friends with your neighbors.
Yeah.
Our neighbor has chickens. We got eggs today.
Yeah. Because we've helped them out with some things, and they're always like, hey, thank you so much. Can we pay you some money? And last time I saw them, I'm like, you know what? Don't ever offer money. Bring me some eggs. Bring me eggs once a week, whatever.
Our neighbor has chickens also, and they give us a dozen every week, but they also have the key to our shed where we keep all our food stores too. So
I didn't know you have food stores in your shed. Okay, you got to show me that next time I come over.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm curious. I have a friend in Germany who does, as Kevin was talking, they have, community lots, and you're allowed a whatever size space, 5 foot by 5 foot or 10 by 10 or in meters, 3 meters by 3 meters. And that's your space to grow. And you have to go there every couple days to weed and water and do whatever you need to do. And something I wanted to point out about like Ed's property, Ed, his whole fucking property is one big hill. Like he is on a 30-degree angle from top to bottom. But if you do tier gardening, like Kevin was talking about, building up, then it's a matter of digging some dirt out, bracing it up, and you can do tiers like that if you're like, well, I'm on a hill, I can't do this.
That's an incredibly efficient way of making use of space, which is why Japanese paddy fields have been done that way for centuries, because it gives a massive amount of yield of product per square footage.
And same with Central America. The Mayans and the Aztecs both did tiered farming. Matter of fact, when they built some of these great, huge, incredible complexes on a mountaintop, they would take a year to carve out these really, I can't think of balconies. I can't think of the right word. Somebody help me out here.
Tiers.
Tiers is what I was going to say, yeah, but there's a better word for it. Not a plateau, not a mezzanine.
Those things.
Yeah, we got it. We know what we're talking
about. Yeah, the thing.
You mean whatchamacallits?
Oh, yeah. I think that's more of a technical term for machinery. But, yeah.
No, it's a whatchamacallit. It's like a thingamy, but different.
I did what to you?
The thingamajig.
Did he just say I finger me?
Or something. The Deuteram Damus, Deuteram Dang.
Isn't that a song about hand ding dong from the 50s? So, yeah, between meal prep, shopping sales, shopping smart, working with other people, and a few other things, you absolutely, in my opinion, for $20 per person. Now, this doesn't include buying paper towels and, dish soap. This is just the basic food. If you shop the sales and get your chicken when it's on sale, and Ed?
But I'm willing to bet there's somebody here that knows how to make household products on the cheap too.
It does take time, though.
Right. And
But
that's
what you do is you make a friend that makes these things, and you make something and you trade.
And you trade, yeah.
well,
Stop buying paper towels, people. Just get on Amazon, buy a pack of diapers, cloth diapers, and stop buying paper towels.
Oh, I have cloth diapers, but not toilet paper. Oops.
yeah, that's another thing. If you want to look at paper products, if you go to a bidet,
A bidet.
yeah, a bidet and washcloths, you can pretty much eliminate your toilet paper usage. I suggest you keep some for friends who come over because they might not understand.
They don't understand.
Also, you don't want to wash their ass rags. Really.
But also, if you buy bar soap instead of the liquid soap, you have less packaging.
Yes.
And it's more cost effective.
And use the bar soap to shave with when it gets down to practically nothing.
Yeah.
If you have a barbecue at home and you burn wood as well as charcoal, look into how to make your own soap because you already have 80% of the raw ingredients.
Yep.
You need ash and water. Yeah.
So
it's not as complicated as you think it is. Why buy bar soap? Do it yourself.
I learned how to make butter. Travis showed me a video last night. All you need is a mason jar and heavy whipping cream, and you take it.
That is all you need.
It was a butter making video, was it, Travis? We believe you.
Okay, this is a very good point. Katina says, I coupon like a mad woman to get those coupons, baby. Absolutely.
Yeah, don't be
especially if you walk into one of those stores to give you double back.
Yeah, and turn it into a hobby the way collecting cards of any sort, whether it's Pokemon or baseball or Magic the Gathering, do that with coupons. And Andrea and I go to one of the big box stores like BJ's, Costco's, or Sam's Club, and we will, before we go, scour their digital coupons, adding them so it automatically pulls it off, and go through the book they send us in the mail and clip the coupons of what we're going to use, because a lot of times it's a one-item usage. So if you have it digital and paper, you now could get 2 for that discounted price.
But now they're doing it. You can use it 5 times. And we have cats, and their litter is $20 cheaper. And there's coupons.
That's a big saving.
Well, the thing is, we'll buy it 3 or 4 things at a time, and it is $5 or $7 cheaper at that store than it is at Walmart or other places per box of it. And then with that $5 coupon,
it's more than that, actually.
That's where you're getting your $20 savings. It's amongst multiple buys. Yeah, Kevin.
Just thinking back to something that was said earlier as well. So Andrea made a point about make friends with your neighbors, and exchanging goods or maybe cooking for each other. You can do that within your family as well. It doesn't have to be the people you live next door to. If you've got mum and dad nearby, or siblings, good friends, sit down and go, okay, we're going to plan a couple of weeks worth of meals. This is everything we need. You get those bits, I'll get these bits. We'll make all the food, subdivide it between the two of us, freeze it all down. We're set for a while.
We do that with some of our friends from the winery, because one of them, and I'll shout out to him, his name is also Kevin. He's an avid hunter. Okay, this guy travels all over the country hunting elk, buffalo, you name it. And he will literally come to Teresa with pounds of meat and say, hey, what can you make with this? And she'll rattle off something. He's like, okay, Here's the meat. Bring me half back. That's a good deal.
So Ed and Teresa will be supplying the vegetables and the broth and everything else. He's just supplying the meat, but Ed and Teresa also puts in the labor. So it's kind of an even trade.
I do a similar thing here. So obviously I've got our staff kitchen upstairs, but I also have a fully working commercial kitchen downstairs.
Nice.
So there's there's 5 of us that live on site here. And so we'll chip in, and because I used to be a chef, I'll batch cook. You know, but okay, what do you guys fancy? We only do about once a week, not every meal.
That's all you need.
But it saves us some money. And it'll be something like, hey, so this coming week, it's my turn to do it again, and I'm making goat curry for everyone.
Ooh.
Yeah, our local butcher got some goat in recently, and it's really nice.
I love a good curry, whatever base it is.
But I'll float a few ideas and say, do you guys fancy this, or this? And then I price it up and go, okay, to make enough for all 5 of us, it's going to be X amount of quid each. Everyone chips in. I do the cooking. They help me cover the cost.
There you go.
So, any closing thoughts on this whole topic here, Andrea? Or Ed? Go ahead.
Me? Okay.
Whichever.
No, go ahead, Andrea, please.
Okay. So, yes, you can eat on a budget. Yes, you can eat healthy. It's not what you're used to. It's not McDonald's. It's better for you. It'll be good. Just try it.
Ed?
I'm going to reiterate, if I can say the word, what she just said. Stay away from the fast food. Stay away from most of your chain restaurants in general here in the United States. I don't know about in England, but just stay away from them. The food's no good. You can make it better at home. And if you make it at home, we kind of touched on it a little bit. Don't just throw away your leftovers. I think a lot of people waste money here in the States. Throw away your leftovers. Eat your leftovers. Put them in the freezer. Do something with them. Give them to somebody else that will eat them even. But
what a foreign concept, throwing away leftovers. Since I was raised poor, I don't throw away any food unless if it's an extreme situation.
We actually had to make a conscious decision about 10 years ago to stop doing that.
Okay.
And we've saved so much money just by stop doing that, because you'll fix something, you'll put it in the refrigerator and forget about it.
Not me. Kevin?
I think, just, it's very easy to do. You just have to be aware that, like all things in life, time is money. If you want to save money, you need to invest a little time. But what you need to bear in mind is, although that seems less convenient than just being able to pick up a phone and hit Uber Eats or nip to your corner store and buy something that's ready to go, although it's costing you investment of a little bit more time, it's so much better for your diet, because newsflash, that corn that you just bought in a can, that wasn't grown around the corner from you. That's not 3 days old. That was grown on the other side of the planet, packed into a tin, pumped full of chemicals to keep it fresh, vacuum sealed, loaded on a lorry, driven thousands of miles around the world, and then placed on your grocery shelf. And that's when 70% of the cost of everything you're buying is coming from. It's not the cost of growing your food, it's the cost of getting it from where they're growing it to your hands. Go to your local farmers markets. Talk to your other friends nearby. Where do you shop? Why do you go there? Are they cheaper? Look at smaller mum and pop businesses, as you'd call them. That's where your savings come from. Stay away from it's not just about avoiding fast food. Avoid big chain supermarket shopping. They are there to rinse you of your money.
Okay, my closing thoughts are, as Kevin just said, I want to again reiterate, it's a trade-off. It is time and value that you get value for that time. Instead of it being convenient and easy, you're going to have to put some time and some work into it. And you can use that time to generate things besides food. If you do it with your kids, that is a bonding time, and you're teaching them valuable life skills. If you're doing it with your partner, that is a beautiful time. If you guys can get along in the kitchen, because some of us cannot, others do. So it's a great time to, at least have somebody hanging out with you and talking while you're doing all the work, whatever works for you, but you can use it to bond. So you get more than just a meal or two out of this. You get relationships with your friends, your neighbors, your coworkers, your family, or your dog just fucking begging for scraps, whatever. And let me also say, avoid the processed foods. Anything in a box or a can or a bag, quite often. Now, the exception in a lot of cases is like the frozen vegetables. Fresh is always better, but the frozen ones are better than your canned, unless you canned it yourself. So just be ready to trade that stuff and look for the value you get in all of it instead of looking at the I don't have time to watch my TV show or scroll through Facebook or wherever you go or play my video game. This is real life video game. If anybody remembers Farmville, this is real life. And you're doing it for real. And
it's cooking simulation.
There you go. And it's small steps. Don't do it all at once. Work this into your life one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Okay. We got this covered here. Shall we do a closing toast?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's to the next step after learning how to do this. Learning how to create a flavor palette and a seasoning mix. Beautiful.
Here.
Thank you for joining us this week at the Tavern. Make sure you raise a glass to the people you like best, and that means us. Drop us a note or an email at talkthetavernshow@gmail.com. Let us know some of your favorite ways to share recipes, make homemade foods, save time, money, any of this, even your favorite gardening style. Let us know. And if you have a topic you'd like to hear us talk about, just bring that up and drop it in that email too. Or comment on Spotify or wherever you get your favorite podcast from. Or, crazy enough, join us live at twitch.tv/Travis Tavern to hang out with us while we record it. Okay, make sure you join us next week to raise a glass. Have a good one.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.